What's up, guys? Welcome to Diving Garage. Today we're going to find out if this no-name distributor belongs in your engine or in the trash. Let's dive in. Alright, so if you click the video, you're wondering, can I buy that $60 Amazon or eBay distributor, drop it in my engine, and do some burnouts? Well, let's find out. I'm going to start out with a simple unboxing, do an unbiased review of what exactly you're going to get. I have my own experience and opinions on these, but I'll save that for the end. So let's see what you're going to get here. Alright, so of course comes just a white vanilla box. So let's open her up. And I don't know if you noticed, but this tape was already broken. This is the first time I'm opening it. I haven't seen this. You're seeing it at the same time I am. And so I don't know if that's a hint as to what's going on here, but let's find out. Okay, well, for starters, I like how it comes in case in this styrofoam to keep it safe. It's got some tape all the way around here, and it looks like we got a little note from the distributor. That's cool. Let me pop this open. Looking good so far. So a lot of the times too, when you get these, they may not be in this styrofoam like encasement here. This one is, and I'm really happy about that. All right. Take this out, set it to the side. Okay, so obviously we got a red cap, red cover here, vacuum advance. It does come with a gasket, which appears to be cork. And then you got your cabling here, which is, it's got some electrical tape on it. I've seen these also sometimes. They do come with a sleeve, but either way. And this unit does come with a melanized steel gear, which I think is actually pretty good, and that's a good selling point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, and we'll break it down piece by piece. All right. So let's start with the cap and see what's going on here. Alright, so first piece here, this is just a basic coil cover. Looks fine. What you want to look for on these are these little indents down here to make sure they're pushing down on the wiring. Most, I would say 99% of coil covers have these, but sometimes they don't. I'll set that off to the side for now. Alright, and then we just have 4 screws holding the coil down, and it looks like we have 1 ground coming here, which is perfect. And I will get this taken out, we'll take these out, and then we'll test this in just a little bit here. Man, well that's actually a good sign right now. So the wires are really tight in there, and it's actually fine. You want them to stay snug. You don't want them just popping out anytime you're unplugging or plugging in these connectors. Okay, so that fought me a little bit coming out, but that's fine. Like I said, you want these to be tight. I'll set that aside just for now. It does come with the rubber gasket and the connector here. And then you have your ground strap. I'll leave that because that ground strap is just a ground strap. It looks fine, no breaks, nothing like that. Nice snug fit. So let's talk about what we have so far. So first off, the actual cap. One thing you're looking for on any cap really is you want some nice, like, solid plastic. Because some of these are really cheap, and you'll see this plastic is very thin, and what happens is that these will crack under the heat of the engine bay, and then these connectors will start to separate out as they heat up, and then once they cool down, they'll shrink back up. So you'll get this weird inconsistent ignition as you're recycling your engine. As it's heating up, it won't run so great, but then once you cool it down, it'll run fine. So that's one thing to look out for really on any cap. Check it for cracks, and on this one, I don't see any cracks, and these connectors all look good. I've also seen that these things will come and they'll just pop right out. So give them a tug, give them a push. These ones appear to be just fine. And you want to look down here too. You're looking for copper. You don't want to see any like silver metal. You don't want to see aluminum. You're looking for copper. And these look really good. Look good so far. This is a little wallowed out, but it's not too bad. And remember, this is the performance replacement HEI distributor for OEM replacement only. All right, so this seems okay so far, but there's one more thing I want to check. Let me go grab a spark plug wire. All right, so this is an MSD Street Fire cable. This end is messed up, obviously, but this end is fine. This end goes to the distributor anyway. So what you were looking for is you want to hear a nice snap. So that's going to depend on two things. It's going to depend on your cap, the shape of these points, and your actual cable. So again, I know this cable is good, not this end. This end is fine. So let's see what we got. Not bad. Felt pretty good. Yep. Nice click there, and it comes off pretty easily too. Yep. Good. So it all really depends on the shape of these little points. I've seen them different shapes, maybe a little more flat, and they'll just spit the spark plug wire right off. So these ones here look good. Make sure you inspect these on any cap that you're going to be using. All right, so now we got our coil. Let's go ahead and test this. I made a short of this a little while back, but hey, look at that. Can you see right here? Look at this. You see what I see? I see some wires poking out. So this was like this, like right here. So you'd have some, you'd have a ground that was already messed up right out of the box. So not a good sign. I will tell you what though, these little cables, they do look pretty good. I've seen even some name brand ones with thinner wiring without the heat wrap. But all that doesn't mean anything if the wires are coming through. Let's see, can you see that? Yeah, not good. But let's go ahead and give this a test anyway. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check the primary windings on this coil, and we're going to set our resistance to 200 because that is the lowest mine goes to. All right, to check the primary windings, all you got to do is grab your red wire, grab your yellow wire, and see what they read. And what we're looking for is 0.2 to 0.8 ohms resistance. And let me flip this so you can see what we get here. It looks like we got 0.7. So the primary windings are good. All right, now let's check the secondaries. And we're looking for 5 to 11,000. So let's go ahead and set our resistance to 20,000 max. And we're going to grab this ring terminal here and the bottom terminal there. And we got 9.84, 9.83. Yep, that'll work. So we do have a good coil. And so it did test good. And overall, it appears fine. I've even seen some of these where this is loose and it'll still work. So if this is loose, don't freak out. I actually have a Duralast one where this is loose. But otherwise, this does look good. I've also seen sometimes to where wherever the ground goes, I think it was here, this will actually be bare metal. So you get a better connection to your ground strap in your cap here, which is also fine. It's not required, but it's fine. So they tested good. And I'll give you my opinions and my observations at the end. So far we got a good cover, we got a good coil, we got a good cap. Well, good coil minus the bare wire there. And one thing I did notice too about the bottom terminal on the cap is that it was barely poking out. So when you put it in there, it was barely poking out. Typically you want that a little more. And some of these I've seen where it'll come and this this connector here will be lower and you can like slide it back, but this one there's no more room to slide it back. So I guess you kind of got to do what you got there. But the reason that's a problem, or can be a problem, is what's around here on the rotor. Look how smashed down that lead is. So typically whenever I get any new rotor, I get this, I bend it up some. Just a bit. It doesn't need to be flying in the air, but just a bit, so that way it encourages a good connection. There you go. Even that little bit will help. You can go even higher if you want. About there is fine. You can get it kind of flush with this surface here, and that'll do you good too. But moving on to the rotor, I did mention the lead. This end looks good here. Again, you're looking for copper, not looking for aluminum. And you got some nice big Phillips head screws. Let's go ahead and take those off. Okay, appears to be good. It's not damaged. I don't think it's been ran before, but you can never really tell. All right, so now the springs and the weights. These are probably some stock configuration springs and weights. If you're going to be doing any sort of tuning, I bet you're going to start right here. But overall, these look good. They operate. They're snappy. Get to stay. They'll snap right back. Yeah, like I said, you'll probably be changing these out if you're doing any sort of tuning. All right, so let's get down here to the ignition control module and the wiring. Okay, good. It does have some thermal paste on the bottom. Looks like a good amount, actually. If you see there, it's a pretty solid amount. You're just looking for full coverage, and I think that's exactly what you got, so that's good. So for these, don't let people tell you you can't test these, because you can. You got to take it to your AutoZone or your O'Reilly's, whatever they have you. It just depends if they have the equipment to test them. So again, no way I can kind of test this here, so I'll just set it to the side. And then let's move on to the wiring. Oh, one more note on this one. So this does have some good leads here. I've seen some of these where they're just plastic, and this is just to encourage a good ground. Man, these are tight. Oh man, that one's so tight. I don't know if I can get it off. I'm going to tell you what, to avoid stripping that, I'm just going to leave it alone. But this wiring looks fine. It's nice looking wiring. And we got a good ground down there. Everything seems fine here. Again, I've seen it where it comes with a sleeve. Some of them it doesn't. But either way, that's just fine. So then after that, a couple more pieces here. You got your vacuum advance. Comes with a little cover if you're not going to use it or are going to use it. I will tell you right now that this vacuum advance is going to advance your timing a lot. And really what I would recommend on any distributor is to get one of those limiting kits. It's a little device that goes right in here, and it'll allow you to limit how much this vacuum will advance. And yes, you can adjust it. You can stick an Allen key down there and adjust at what rate it goes and what vacuum it kicks in. So on this end, looks okay. One more thing is the pickup down there, so you can kind of feel the spots where it engages. And what you're looking for is you don't want them to touch. You want them to float just a little bit. Just a tiny gap, which I do. This one does feel really good. Positive engagement. I don't think any of these are rubbing. Yep. That seems good right there. All right, so now if you really wanted to tear it down more, you could take the gear off and drive the pin out and pull this whole assembly out. But I don't really see a need to do that here. We're just checking it out, seeing what you would get. But otherwise, like I said, this is a melanized steel gear. So that's great if you're running a billet cam. Like in my 350 build I did a comp cams retrofit roller, and it needs a melanized steel gear. This one comes with that, so that's great. So a little bit of a pro tip, if you look around at melanized steel gears at all the other sites, they're a little spendy. This whole unit is 60 bucks, and it comes with a melanized steel gear, and you, at the bare minimum, you get some spare parts. So just something to think about. Okay, so and then like I said, you get looks like a cork gasket here, so that's great. It's better than zero. All right, and that's it for that. So all in all, not too bad. There were a couple items here that will probably shut you down if you're trying to use this on your build. First one being the contact between the brush and the lead here. To me, that was too low. It was down there when it really should have been up here. So if you can see that, it was way down there when I'd like for it to be a little higher, maybe even higher than that. But so that's something that'll shut you down. And then also this here, this wiring, this is not good. You don't want any sparks escaping in here or really anything going wrong. A lot of juice flowing through here. Cap was fine. This did check out, and I talked about the leads and the points already. But yeah, that checked out just fine. So now to answer the question, will this run my engine? Will it run my rig? The answer is yes, it will run. But the question is, for how long? And that's where I'll give you some of my experience, my opinions. The main culprit being right here. Again, this coil already had some wiring exposed, and I'll tell you right now, this isn't going to last. This is going to fry out, I don't know, I give it a week, a month tops. This is going to fry out, and it's going to melt. It's going to burn your cap, burn your coil, and it'll turn it all black, and it'll shut you down. You'll be stranded. So if you are going to run this rig, take this out, throw it in the garbage. Rotor, we talked about it. This one seems fine. I do like how it retains the screws. This one seems fine, but I've seen these where it's also pressed way down, and when you try to bend it up, it snaps. So that's not very helpful. On the cap is huge. You have to check for the cracks. You have to check for any sort of damage from shipping. You have to check for the right kind of points, right kind of a material, and not aluminum down there, because you want as max connectivity as you can get. And I've also seen them come without the ground strap, so that's not helpful. On this end really is not bad. So if you were to just take this out of the $60 and make your own Frankenstein distributor like I did, this is a great start. It does need the vacuum limiter, but this wiring is fine. The pickup is fine. The melanized steel gear is great. And again, you're going to want to do the spring and weight tuning. But this is a great start. If you need, I don't know, say you just want it to look nice, but you have other components, get this. And you can start from here, put your own components on there that you know are good, and go on from there. All right, next point of failure is going to be this right here. This is something people always blame, but it can be good and still work, or it can be bad and still work. So, bit of a mixed bag here. One thing I will say is you need to check the wiring here, because that is going to move every time you're advancing or retarding this with this vacuum advance. Every time the vacuum advance is moving, these wires are moving, and people will tell you time and time again, check these wires, because it will break and it'll chafe, or it'll break inside the jacketing. But a really big thing is to check the connectors. When you put this in, you can't just jam it in there and send it. If you just push it in there, you just push the connectors back too. So you're getting like right now, this white wire is barely grabbing. So when you push this in there for your final assembly, get a pick or get something behind there and push it in as well. So, but anyway, back to the control module. This is going to fail, 100%. These things will either melt or it'll just straight up fail, again, within a week or within a month. So the two primary components here, the two that you really need, your coil and your distribution control module, not going to work. And so you can have everything else great, but if you don't got these two on point, forget about it. You just bought a brick. All right, so that's really it. We covered everything from the core, the components inside, the gear, the ignition, control module, the coil, the rotor. We got the coil cover and the cap, and then the brush, and then the gasket here. Plenty of weaknesses, of course. That's just the way that it's designed. But with these lower quality, cheap, budget distributors, you're going to get what you pay for. Let me get this thrown back together and we'll wrap up here. All right, y'all. So you saw the teardown. You saw what you're going to get. You heard some of my thoughts. Let me give you maybe some alternate solutions. Well, first and foremost, don't buy this. Don't do it. Don't waste your time. I've bought at least 3, if not 4 of these, and I've been through the same battles every single time. So learn from my troubles. Do not buy this distributor. I'm telling you, it may work at first. You're gonna be pumped. You'll think, yes, I only spent $60 on a new distributor, but then in a week or a month, you're gonna be hating life because your engine won't run, it's misfiring, it's running rough, or it leaves you stranded. Don't do it. Save yourself the trouble. All right, so alternate options. What else can you do? All right, so this is $60. Guess what's only $40 more? A part store distributor. Brand new parts. At least one with a warranty you can bring back. Now, I'm not promoting AutoZone, Advance, O'Reilly, not a sponsor. I'm just giving you my thoughts and what I run in my truck. I have a Duralast distributor in there, and if something goes wrong, I just bring it back and they will give me a new one. No big deal. Same with the starters, but separate video, but I'll put a link in the description. Same with the starters. Don't waste your money on the Power Torque, the Power Master, the Ultra Diamond, Black Pearl. Don't waste your money on that stuff. Go to a parts store and get yourself a PMGR high torque mini starter. Separate video. Anyway, go get yourself a parts store distributor. Save yourself the trouble. Save yourself the headache. Do not buy this. And I'll show you exactly where this one's going. All right, y'all, hope you enjoyed the video. I really hope this saves you some headaches, saves you some trouble in the future. Again, don't waste your time with that cheapo Amazon, eBay distributor for $60. Don't do it. Well, guys, if you liked the video, you know the drill. Hit the button, ring the bell. I appreciate all the viewers, all the support. It really means a lot. Thank you so much. And don't be afraid to get out there, dive in your next project. Catch you next time.